Hey guys, hope you're having a great day as well as a great life.
Dude, not a great day, not a great life for me right now.
It's a very hard day for us to compare these legendary drummers.
Monuments on the drums, dude. Just ridiculous drummers. How do you do it?
You're just holding two legends like that.
My initial thoughts, and I could be wrong, are that I think John Bonham is the better drummer.
On what grounds?
On the grounds of, if I think of both of them, and I think they're both two of my favorite drummers, I think Neil Peart has a level of technical ability that is pretty much second to none. There's not too many drummers who I think are in the same league. I think John Bonham has a very strong technical ability, really, really good, but I do think Neil kind of outwins in that regard. But one thing that I think separates them in Bonham's favor is feel. I feel like the way he grooves and like the underlying emotion in his drum playing outshines more than Neil's does.
I can see what you mean, but I feel like the feel from Bonham is easier to experience because the beat is so much simpler, to where it's almost like his feel in beats can appeal to a broader audience. But I feel like if you can kind of like, if you give the Rush songs enough listens and you know like what's there, you can experience like I feel like as much feel from certain songs. Like
I definitely think he gives emotion in his drumming. I think he's the level of drumming you have to, or you're not in that upper echelon. Yeah. But I think the difference in, like, if I hear like John Bonham play like a
we're just putting him in his standard playground beat.
But
that's
that
like
is,
his ish.
That is every drummer's standard beat. Like that is the
that's
beat
true.
that like nobody learns at Neil's level to start with. So I'm saying like I feel like
when you break it down,
Neil gives emotion a lot of times through adding technical skill. He doesn't do it in a subtractive way. For him, it's like, I have all these colors to paint with, and I'm going to use all of them to a really high degree, which is incredible. But I feel like I just haven't heard him, maybe there's an example of it, and I'd be wrong. I haven't heard him just do like the most stripped down, simplest beat and have him show the same amount of emotion. Maybe he can, but I know Bonham can. And to me, it's like he could also play more explosively and do crazy solo-y things. And I've seen him do that and show emotion in a complex state. But he also, I mean, you got to think, why does he revert back to, like, when the levee breaks? Not a crazy difficult drum beat.
But the feel of it is
almost impossible to hit. Like, how many drummers do you watch play that beat wrong, but technically right? Probably a lot.
That's a very good point. So, I mean, I guess you could say, let's say you have the two categories of technical skill and feel, right? So sure. Neil Peart is obviously technically higher, so I think so. He's very tall. But he does have feel, so he's also wide in that regard.
And to some extent, yeah.
Now, if you compare like John Bonham's height in reference to his skill with his width of his feel, do you think it's like as big an area as like Neil Peart's? If you take both into account at the same time,
I'm not sure, but here's where I think, for me, I fundamentally differ on that logic.
Okay.
I don't think they're weighted the same.
That's true. So do you think the category of feel is worth just like has a bigger weight in general than the category of technical skill?
I think that's
true.
Technical skill. There's a lot of drummers that I've seen who have an incredible technical ability, but I don't think they're that great of drummers. Whether that's knowledge on how to use the beat or how to whatever, I think technical skill is something that more people have that nobody knows about.
Right.
I think when you have a monumental drummer, again, Neil Peart, John Bonham, easily in that category, I think what separates them is technical ability plus other things. So creativity on the drums, I think they're both incredibly creative. They're creative in different ways. Again, I think Neil is creative in an additive way, but not always. So to me, feel is one of those things that I weigh it slightly heavier on the scale of drumming importance. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I guess I just feel like with, let's say, like the Song A subdivisions, the drum beat is pretty complex, but I totally feel the vibe of the song. And let's say the spirit of radio, when that drum beat drops first in the song, it's technically advanced, but it also has that's probably one of the dirtiest like drum drops I've ever heard in the spirit of radio.
It's pretty strong.
And then
listen, this is hard. This is like, I don't know.
I mean, like, what do you ultimately like enjoy going back to more? Because I feel like whenever I listen to, let's say, like a Rush song for like, let's say the 15th time I come back to it, there's a chance I can catch something new in the drum beat that I didn't catch the first time, and now like I'm experiencing all those elements simultaneously, and it's just the picture gets more bright. Whereas let's say like When the Levee Breaks, it's a legendary moment in music, him doing that drum intro, but like you're not like hearing anything new whenever you like re-listen to it. Not that you need to.
I would agree. Now what's strange to me, because I totally agree with that point, is that it still never gets old for me in a weird way. I mean,
I'm not saying it gets old. But...
No, I'm not. I know. I'm just saying I would think that if, and so this is me just trying to, is there a hole in my plane of thinking? Because you're right, I don't really hear new stuff when I listen to John Bonham usually, but when I listen to it, I still get that, like, as soon as it hits, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a tsunami hitting you, and Neil's, it is more complicated. It's like you stare at the same painting and you see, like, it's like a Dali painting, like you see like one face one time and this thing this other time, and it's like ever changing. Whereas John Bonham is like, just that you see it, it's exactly what it is.
But it's like sometimes less is more, you know, with things. And I think like When the Levee Breaks is like one of the most prime examples of that. But I feel like in terms of like what age is better, like if like I'm gonna come back to it, like one of the artists. Oh my god, well they're both so good. I mean I don't know. I feel like you listen to like these Zeppelin songs when I'm like 80. It's just gonna take me back to this time, and it's gonna be awesome.
But I feel like Rush is gonna do the same thing. It's really difficult because I agree. When I listen to like Spirit of Radio, it's gonna be the same no matter what. It's gonna be me being like, holy cow, that drumming is phenomenal.
In terms of what let's think about like what might like age better in general, like for our older selves looking back on great music from the past. Like what's gonna be like, this is not that something's like more timeless than another thing, but what are you gonna go back to and be like, oh my god, that stood the test of time so good. I feel like it's Rush. I mean, it depends on the song too, though. It depends on the song, because with Rush, sometimes it comes down to their songwriting. Not just the ability, but it's the songwriting. It has to align for them. Do
we take that into consideration? No, we can't, because then it would be totally one-sided. Rush would win because he's the better, like, Neil's the better songwriter.
I get what you mean.
I feel like, it's so hard, man. I think this is something we're not going to get through.
Probably not.
So you're feeling Neil?
I'm feeling Neil Peart, dude.
I'm feeling John. Tell us in the comments. Comment down below whose side you're on. I mean, it's not really a side, but yeah, pick.
Because we love both, but ultimately, if you had to stack one above the other, how would you stack them?
Yeah, so comment down below. Let us know. Let's get into a discussion down there. Maybe there's some points we were missing.
And give us two other musicians or like even bands from different, that we can compare. Like maybe like guitarists or singers,
bassists. I'm down to do like
we're down to host these very intense conversations that need to happen.
Yeah, we'll bury that cross, and we'll have to do it for you guys. So you let us know down below. But all right, man.
We'll see you guys.
See you.